Now has he got him? Yes, he has. Sri Lanka, the new champions.
He's hit the stumps. That's a classic dismissal for Mitchell Starc. Australia are through to the world.
Oh, game over! Game over! Andre Russell has launched it
Again.
That's gone up India. Safras takes the catch. It's all over. Pakistan win.
Can't do it. There's a little touches there. It is. It's over. It's over. Latham takes the catch.
Whips that one away, and how appropriate that Ross Taylor and Kane Williamson are there for this moment.
A hugely impressive victory for New Zealand tonight.
Before moving ahead, let's look back at something that is highly pertinent to this topic. 2007 World Cup exit was one of the worst moments in India's cricketing history, if not worst. Lots of questions were asked, and even someone like the great Tendulkar described that as his lowest point in his career. The day was 23 March 2007, and it was one of the hardest moments for all the Indians. And with jingoist fanbase of India, we all saw what really happened back then. It was not until that series win in England the mood of Indian cricket and Indian fans was back. And as per scheduled, 2007 T20 World Cup happened, which kind of triggered various things for Indian cricket, mainly positive. More importantly, India won that T20 Cup, and that hangover of West Indies was all but over. From then, new era began with new leadership under Dhoni, where they mainly focused on investing in youth and collaborating it with experiences of likes of Tendulkar to become a mighty force that they ultimately became. Apparently speaking, the rise of Indian cricket was quite parallel to descension of Australian cricket. It wouldn't be wrong to claim that India's rise to top was right after the mighty Australians were knocked off their perch post 2007. I mean, that Australian team from 98 to 2007 was just a big force, the world beaters. But here's the thing. After beating Australia in CB series in 2008, I think the journey focusing on strengthening of core for India began, and India for sure went from strength to strength. That's why India were 2011 world champion after Australia, and suddenly people started calling India as the new big thing, the new big bull. Power of world cricket was slowly transferring to India, and to even validate this point, India won 2013 Champions Trophy. From there on, this tag of favoritism attached to India, and quite rightly so, because champions are always favorite no matter what. Also, after the addition of T20 World Cup from 2007 as a major ICC tournament, the number of major tournaments increased, and the favorites like India rubbed their hand for more successes to come. Now let's talk from a statistical point of view. From 2007 ODI World Cup to 2021 T20 World Cup, there has been massive 15 ICC major tournaments, and India have won just 3 of them, which is one behind the Aussies. But here's the interesting thing. India won all these tournaments from 2007 to 2013, and since then 7 major tournaments took place, but the success rate is absolute nil for India. I think this is where major problem lies. How did this success rate of 38% slumped to absolute zero when you are supposed to win at least a couple of them? How can you not win at least one of the trophies with this largest budget in the world, biggest infrastructure in the world, and by being the biggest cricket playing nation in the world? And like this, there are many more other questions resonating around the world concerning Indians' inability to win major ICC trophies. So let's discuss some of the reasons that might be obvious for discussion. The first obvious reason is batting failures at big games. Truth to be told, The major identity of Indian cricket has always been their batting. Overall package may be to and fro, but batting has always been their core strength. But interestingly enough, since 2013, except that 2016 semi-final, all other finals or games were lost due to poor batting performances. Indians were not even competing with bat in those 6 games, especially the finals. I mean, when you say you have best batting lineup in a game, you simply have to perform in a big games too. That's the simple equation. It's like it's either top 3 or nobody for India, especially in those games. Even top players like Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli have not had impact performances in those big games. That's why these top players comes under intense criticism, and quite rightly so. In a competitive game, especially cup competition, you have to win big moments to win big matches. And this is how a big player, in fact a great player, is made. But sadly with Indians, it's just not happening. Let's elaborate this by taking example of recently concluded T20 World Cup. India were in the easiest group and their first game was against Pakistan, arch rival, which was one of those games, and they were excused. But the next game was against New Zealand. When Indians came into bat, they scored 110. Wow, just 110, which is criminal from batting perspective. And like I said earlier, Indians were just not competing with bat. I mean, 110 is just not enough to win T20 matches. That's the simple math. Batting failure was the major reason why Indians were thrashed out of this T20 World Cup like previous finals. Coincidences or the deja vus, whatever you like to claim, which doesn't happen regularly, but with Indians, it's recurring. And this is the major problem moving ahead for the Indians. And if this problem is not sorted out, loads of criticism will haunt Indians like never before. The second obvious reason is these problems of plenty. I think this is the problem that India is having and has had throughout their cricketing journey. They just have loads of players competing for this single spot, and in doing so, some gets left behind while some never get chance, even if they really deserve. That's why it can be a double-edged sword. One of the prime example of this kind of situation is selection of certain Vijay Shankar over Ambati Rayudu for 2019 World Cup. This I think was one of the worst selection ever made in Indian team for World Cup team selection, and this was not even a like for like replacement. No wonder Rayudu hit back with that tweet. Frankly speaking, Indian cricket team is very much similar to English football team. Both have same problems, which is, like I mentioned earlier, the problems of plenty. Despite having the best league in the world, England are yet to win World Cup since 1966. And with India, IPL is another sensation that is producing players for fun. These players extracted from IPL are easily getting into national team too, but as far as trophies and success is concerned with India, it's all but due. The other reasons could be missing of players like Yuvraj Singh. There is a common denominator in both 2007 and 2011 World Cup triumph, and that is certain master by the name of Yuvraj Singh. He was the man of the tournament in both World Cup, batted and bowled like a legend. Yuvraj Singh batted in a position where India is suffering so badly, which is number 4 positions. This position has been a void ever since Yuvraj Singh was not in a team. So maybe this could be a reason why India is not winning trophies, or at least not competing enough to win. Honestly speaking, Yuvraj Singh after cancer was just not there as a performer. So void has been there ever since in this position. I think number 4 position is as crucial as top 3, as this position provides stability to the middle and lower order. And when you don't have this position stable, which simply won you a multiple tournament, questions will always be asked. And with India, they are ever searching since Yuvraj Singh lost his peak time, and as far as Indians are concerned, Yuvraj Singh is still sadly missed. Another reason could be questions to leadership group. This could be the least significant points among all, but in all fairness, it has to be questioned. By leadership, I'm just not blaming captain, but all the leadership group as a whole. Well, captain is in fact the face of all, but the leadership, as far as India is concerned, is not reaching and meeting the expectation. Whether it's a lack of communication between staffs and players, or the arrogance that these players might have developed, or it's a matter of complacency from both parties, we simply don't know. But it's not happening for India and helping Indian cricket. I think Ravi Shastri was just not a good fit for India, to be honest, but like I mentioned earlier, he is not the only one to be blamed. It's the whole leadership group consisting of captain, staffs, coaches and all the parties involved. When you are one of the favorites to win the cup and despite that you don't win any of the trophies, leaders have to take responsibility in all circumstances, whether you win or lose. Yes, winning and losing are part and parcel of game, but when you are mighty Indian cricket and you don't win the highest prize in a game for this long period of time, criticism is bound, and this video was one of those. Well, with all this said, the time is up for this video. For this, I would like to know from you guys what could be other reasons for India's lack of success in major ICC tournament. Please have your say in comment section and pass your honest opinion about this video. So thank you very much for watching this video, and lastly, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.